Hello guys, today I'm going to be talking about calipers, okay? How to use a caliper. Wait till the end and you will see a lot of stuff in this caliper that you are not aware of. A lot of people think that know how to use caliper 100%, but not a lot of people know how to use everything in a caliper. So a lot of hidden places that caliper can be benefited from, okay? So for example, this is an old just reader caliper. A lot of people don't know how to read it. They don't like to use it. They recommend digital caliper, which is fine. Okay, I recommend digital caliper too. It's more accurate. I don't have to sit down and try to figure out 1,000 of an inch and 10,000 of an inch. Try and calculate it. Just it's easy if you know how to use it. But we'll go with a digital caliper. Okay, so one of the things digital caliper is good for measures diameters, okay, and let's say inside of a hole, okay. This area here uses diameters and inside the holes, okay. There's more tools out there to measure material thickness people recommend, which is micrometers, okay, and we'll talk about a little bit. You can use caliper the same as micrometers, and I will tell you in a minute what's a good advantage and what's the advantage actually, what's good and what's bad, okay. Apologize for the English. I hope this can help you guys. So let's start. So first, calipers. Most digital ones have on and off button, and you have a zero out, which is to zero the material. Then you have millimeter and inches. Okay, this is just a unit. They can switch to millimeters and inches. So now I'm in inches. Now I'll switch to millimeters. Okay, that's what the good thing about digital calipers, not as a manual one. Manual one, usually they all comes in 1 inches or millimeters, and then you have to figure it out and start switching, by calculating. So let's talk about it. This main caliper here extends to 8 inches, okay. So if I go here, it's about 8 something inches, okay. It's designed. There's some usually standards manufacturer use 6 inches. You don't need that big, but I use it for different products. Now there is this probe here. This probe here, most people use it for depth mic. Okay, again, if you wait till the end, there's more depth mic areas that people don't know about. So depth mic usually is used, for example, if I want to use the depth of this surface here. Okay, now if this is welded, okay, so I'll put this here all the way, stretch it down, I'm not touching the bottom. Now I know the depth. It says 2450. I can measure it this way. People will say I'll get 24, same thing, okay. But this is not I'm talking about. Not trying to measure. Imagine this is welded somewhere and you cannot remove it. You're trying to get the height. That's what you use this for. Now, I don't like this, okay, personally, because it can give you a lot of interference. It depends how you move your hand, okay. If your hand is not stable, if you move in this direction and that direction, you can get a little bit different reading. A lot of time I love using this if I'm measuring a surface. Now again, I'm not talking about taking the caliper and measure it this way. Okay, if this is welded somewhere, okay, and I want to measure the height of it. Now, here's one of the secrets of caliper. A lot of people don't know about this. This surface here, okay, this is a flat surface. This is zero surface too. So if I flip the caliper in the back, okay, there's this surface here and this surface. Watch me open it. I'm going to try to bring it in. Now, when this meets here is 0. So I can take the caliper, open it, put this on a flat surface. Now I get better flat surface, not moving, and then measure this height. Okay? Boom. Until it touch, I'll get that many inches. Okay? Same thing. I take it very close, okay, within a couple thousand of an inch, okay. Now again, depends on my hand, but it's just example. This area here, a lot of people don't use this surface here. All they use for depth height is this. Now yes, I recommend using this if you're trying to go in the hole, okay. That's the only way you can go, okay. Let's say this is welded, you're trying to go in the hole, see how depth is the hole. Great tool. But be careful how to use it. Make sure your hand is steady, your center as possible, your level as possible. Don't go this direction to this direction. Because if you do this direction, Now this surface here is touching before the surface, and you're going to get an accurate reading. The idea is have to be level. Okay. Now another couple tips. You can measure, earlier I was talking about, you can measure material thickness. Okay. So I have this piece of washer. It's homemade. Okay. So it's just punched in, So the manufacturer recommends using the micrometer. Okay. Is a tool that you can measure the tools in this direction. I'll just show you a picture of a micrometer. For example, these here, all the pictures of micrometers. Okay, there's digital, there is manual one. Those are manual. I just googled micrometer basically. So again, why people recommend micrometers? Because there's no interference on the trim line. Here where caliper comes in. If you look at calipers, their design, they have, even the old style, okay, they have holes. Not this hole. I drew this hole. There's a little slot, okay, a slot here, a slot here, okay. Same thing. Most micrometers have slots and a slot here. And actually you can see it. 1 and 2. These slides are designed for a reason. To clear burrs. Now, people say, what's burr? A burr is, people that does not know, a burr is when you cut a steel, okay, you'll have surface. See it stops here. It hits the surface, okay? Because of a cut, you're ending up shaving the steel or leaving a little scrap piece from the steel, and it's causing a burr. That burr will change the material thickness. Some of the burrs are almost twice bigger than the steel itself. So if I sit down and trying to figure, let's say if I measure this area here, I'm going to switch to millimeters for a second just to show you guys. If I end up measuring this, it's 1.9 millimeter, okay? Now, I measure where the burr is. Now watch me. I'm going to slide the burr, let it go inside the hole, okay? And now I got 0.85 of a millimeter. Why I was getting higher? Because I was measuring the burr, okay? With the burr, I was getting about 0.3 of a millimeter different, okay? If you're doing a lot of tolerance and small things, that can make a lot of difference, okay? Now, yes, a lot of people say, oh, caliper is not always accurate. Yes, because if your steel is not flat and then you're trying to measure something, if it's wavy, yes, it will not give you accurate reading. But if you don't have micrometers, trying to measure a material thickness, make sure your trim of the steel is inside the hole, okay? Clearing the hole, that way you get better result. Yes, I might be touching here, but this is just for example. If you have a big steel, you want to measure it, that's the good thing, okay? Same thing with this, okay? If you're measuring, let's say this hole, and if I have trim line over here, if I have a little burr, okay, I measure it, I want to go inside, clear the hole. I want to make sure the surface is touching here and here, because if I close it, watch this, I'll have a hole, okay? So if the burrs on the holes touching here, I'm not reading them, so I get better result, okay? So again, let's a little bit touch up on micrometers. Calipers, keep calling them micrometers now. So calipers, measure this surface, something thickness of a gauges, okay? Measure those surface here for a hole size, okay? Depth mic in a new area for depth mic. Here, it's not new, but a lot of people don't know about it. Most calipers get certified in the manufacturing. Why? Because calipers get ruined. If you drop it in the floor, you can damage it. You can damage the electrical and component inside. Now, there's one thing I didn't touch up. There's bolts here, okay? This is designed when you measure something and you want to lock it and then take it out. That way, so your number will show. Try to leave it loose, not too much loose, not too tight, just so you can use. A lot of people recommend use this wheel here. I don't use that wheel. I put my hand here. You just use the micrometers, okay? So, go back to manufacturer certified these micrometers. They don't use those kind. These are a little cheap kind. They're because of tolerance on them. Now, manufacturer use different kind, a little more expensive. They calibrate them once a year for a reason, to make sure they are still doing what they're supposed to be doing, measuring within special tolerance. Some calibers they go to 0.5 of accuracy. These are not that accurate, okay? But for home use, for a small project, it's okay. How they calibrate them, they have a little bunch of blocks, okay, and they just measure every time the caliper to see if it's still within the same function. They turn them off, turn them back on. There's a bunch of tests they do to them, okay, and then they get certification test, and they get a label that says it's certified until this date, and and then the next time, then go back again to the lab and get certified. I hope you guys like this video. If you have any comments or you need to know something that I missed or something, feel free to share it or just let me know. I'll be more happy to help you guys. Have a nice day.